When you only get a 1 week go in resis after calling your coach a dud, you know it's time to look at LOYG. I didn't do it as silly this week.
LOYG.
Yes, Stu here, Dave there,
Hello.
and Ben there.
Hello, gentlemen.
And of course, you're listening to What's the Go. Look at League. I mean, the biggest story still the Lockie Galvin situation. I don't even know, how much do we want to go into it? Because it's kind of just rolling on and on and on, isn't it?
I feel like it may need its own individual podcast at some stage. Maybe a 90-minute special. That might be on the agenda. Maybe week 12.
Yeah.
Week 12 of the saga.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't go that long.
No, week 12. Well, I suppose how long's this saga been going on? That's the thing. Like, he made some pretty filthy comments last year. So, it's probably week 79 at this moment.
Yeah. And as mentioned, we don't have lawyers on the show, so there's a limit to how much we can talk about. But the whole story's now turned into which journos are on Isaac Moses' payroll. And we've got people on Twitter like honey trapping journos into stories about, I've got something about Wests that will blow their club wide open. And the journo's falling for it because, anyway, let's not worry about that. Another story that we haven't even talked about that much is the fact that there's some sort of big deal going on over in England about the NRL either buying a stake in Super League or setting up a rival league to Super League.
It's like the Super League war.
Involving Super League.
Yeah. So I think that's fascinating. I love the idea of that. There's so much more that can be done over there.
100%.
And there's so much, I'll say it, could be run so much better than things are run at the moment. And broaden it out to a European league.
But Stu,
Red Star Belgrade is just sitting there.
Stu, I was thinking, like, I understand exactly what you're saying in regards to that expansion piece. But would it be worth starting with, you talk about common sense and running the league in Europe in a way that really ticks a few more boxes? Do you think increasing the size of the in-goal should be top of the list? So that people aren't getting concussions from sliding into metal railings?
HIAs every time a try score. Yeah, possibly. But here's what I think. It won't happen. But make a league that has the same number of clubs as the NRL and set up a sister club situation.
Yeah.
That way the NRL clubs can kind of mentor to a degree, like London Broncos, Brisbane Broncos.
Makes sense.
Well, that was the case in the 90s. They were sister clubs then. And it would make sense only if it was a winter sport globally. So we weren't playing at the same time. And then you could have development players playing first rate in the UK. The way Harry Grant was loaned to the Tigers, maybe the Melbourne Storm could loan the next Harry Grant to their sister club.
Exactly. You get some English players over here to do a pre-season and send them back, see how they go with their sister clubs.
Would you start from scratch, or would you want to build on the foundations of what's already there?
I would say build, like, you can include clubs that are already there. Like I said, London Broncos, Brisbane Broncos is already kind of done for you.
Saints and Saints?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'd have to, reach a certain criteria.
Well, that's the thing that worries me. Like the talk of NRL buying a percentage. A percentage of what? Like, how much money do you spend for something that is not run well now? How much value
that's
does
the
it
whole
have?
point, right? Like that's the whole point in the fact that they'll now have a say in how it's being run and help polish the turd that is currently Super League.
That's right. And once you're in there with a stake, you can start pushing other people, like buying up other people's shares.
Yep.
And have a majority for too long. But again, we are not experts or journos or ex-players or administrators. We're three buffheads having a chat on a weeknight.
As a mad NRL fan, I would love footy to be 12 months a year, and
Exactly.
partnership with the UK could provide that.
That's right. Plus Toronto Wolfpack, they can come back as well.
Boom.
All right. Let's look at the week that was. Manly and Dragons. Manly and Dragons, fellas. Any takeaways from that game?
Manly did better than I expected them to. I thought Dragons were going to win by plenty.
You did. You had 13 plus, didn't you?
Did.
Let's have a look at this. Yeah. Ben and I both had... Oh, no. I had Manly 13 plus. Ben had Manly 1 to 12. Dave had Dragons 13 plus. So
none of us...
All of us are wrong.
All wrong.
But,
No points.
But who's... Is
Least wrong?
Ben 1 to 12 but wrong team closer than you right team but 13 plus?
I think the right team 13 plus definitely beats out wrong team 1 to 12.
Score's closer though.
Yeah. In my main tipping comp, I did pick Dragons by 2, so that was nice.
Oh, well
Oh,
done.
you did? Wow. Why don't you bring your main tipping comp energy to over here?
Have more days to think about it.
Oh,
It does help a lot.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this game. It was...
It's a bit dreary, wasn't it?
Well, they started without one Trebojevic and they lost another early on in the game. Since all the drama with the talk of Terry leaving, he has played like a busted. So,
Well, I think he played well for 1 week after.
Yeah,
and then
you're
since
right,
then it's
you're
been...
right.
You're still on a high from 100% footy.
Yeah.
As we all are, you know. Your Good Friday games were Canterbury 32 to South 0. Ouch. 0.
Yeah.
And look, I picked Rabbits. Dave picked Rabbits with the start.
Nope. No good.
And Ben said Dogs by not much. So that's also wrong.
Well, yeah, again, right team, wrong score. And as I spoke to you guys about over the weekend, shout out to Joel Kane from Sportsbet, who threw out the Dogs to keep Souths to 0 at $23 as his pick, which was incredible. And I read today that's the first time in the Canterbury Bankstown history that they've kept two sides to 0 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that is. Seraldo. What else do you want to say? Seraldo.
There was a news promo for tonight's News Bullet on Channel 9, and they kept questioning. We talked tonight to Cameron Seraldo, who unleashes the secret to Canterbury's great start in defence. And I heard my wife from across the room go, Penrith?
Speaking of watching the news, did you see those twins today?
No?
I hope the Saifidis aren't like that, or the Thompsons. Oh, there was a carjacking in Queensland somewhere, and they interviewed these twins, and the twins were just talking, saying exactly the same thing at the same time for the whole interview. It is freaky as.
Wow.
That's got not much to do with rugby league, unless the Saifidi brothers do that.
That's why they had to be split.
Yeah, that's why they got... that's why they went, get to Queensland, you. We can't stand this anymore. Yeah.
Bulldogs fans are very happy.
Yeah. But you called it, Dave. I was frothing over that Rabbitohs backline. You said won't mean anything if those forwards don't go forward. The forwards didn't go forward.
No, and Bulldogs continue just winning the game in the middle. Their forward pack is so underestimated because they're so, in air quotes, small. But they're agile, they run great lines, and the Bulldogs forwards have actually scored more tries than their backs.
Yeah, I was thinking when do Bulldogs lose, but I actually think Brisbane will beat them at Suncorp next week. But we'll get to that.
Can I also say that there is a new...
Sheriff in town?
Well, yes, there is a new sheriff in town when it comes to flopping into tackles.
Oh, the new Hindy?
It's the new Hindy, and it's Peter Mamazelis.
Oh, yeah?
I think I counted 6 times where a player was tackled and he just happened to rub his shoulder against the ruck at some stage just to get his stats up. It was ridiculous. It really was. He was doing
Stat padding, you reckon?
Yeah. It just seemed to me to be a bit of a stat pad afternoon. I mean, I know they were doing a lot of tackling and doing a lot of not tackling as well, but he caught my eye.
Is Bennett paying per tackle over there at South or something?
I think Hindmarsh admitted towards the end that he had himself in his own Supercoach team.
Really?
Maybe members Ellis has done the same.
He was captain.
He was captain himself. I was going to get my stats up. I'm captain this week.
Well, I don't know. Can you bet on tackles per game?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. But as you said, Stu, like the forward pack, the try scoringness of the forward pack of Canterbury is incredible. Like they went front rower, back rower, their first 3 tries, and it was it was unreal. Like great to watch. I don't like the Bulldogs. I obviously have a family full of Bulldog supporters.
Quiet.
But
don't say it out loud. They're internal thoughts.
But you have to be so impressed with what they are doing. And again, Dave, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rub this in, but bloody Jamin Salmon was very, very good in this game, I thought. And you need to be good with a haircut like that. But
did we talk about that haircut already?
Oh,
I'll tell you what. So it was a team misdemeanor, right?
Oh,
so he had to choose either a fine, shave his head, or dye his hair. He ended up dyeing his hair, cost him $300 where he got it done. The fine was only $200.
I was going to say, has he been getting it redone every week? Because it seems to be getting brighter and brighter.
Maybe he's trying to channel the, Pappenhausen type vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's just an excuse. He wanted some Kappa long blonde locks.
Oh, yes.
And needed an excuse.
In a losing team, Jack Whiten.
Yeah, he was good.
Unreal.
What about Cody Walker getting benched? Is that injury related, you reckon?
Or is it just
I assume
related?
so, but I hadn't thought of him get hawked. Would Bennett do that to Codes? Has it come out that he did that, or is this pure Dave speculation?
I just saw Cody sitting on the bench without any eye strappy, etc. So,
okay.
But yeah, Bulldogs fans very happy.
I like that as a segment.
Go on.
What's that?
Dave speculation. Wild Dave speculation.
Yes. What about Dolphin Storm?
Oh, we all predicted it. It was obvious it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Storm letting in 42 points.
Yes, we all predicted that. I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. I watched it. I still can't tell you what happened in the Storm.
All right. I didn't watch the second half. What happened? I know Harry Grant wasn't there from the start.
Errors, and
I know Jack Howarth went off injured, and Chan played in the centres, so that's not good.
Yeah, just no clicking.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, I watched the first 20 minutes, and then same as you, Dave, had to walk away thinking one thing, and then came back and thought another.
Yeah,
make Panthers fans feel better about losing the week prior.
Well,
maybe Dolphins are good.
What I would say is that the Storm played in the manner that the Panthers have been playing, which is foreign to both of them, which is panic early, earlier than they probably need to. And as soon as you panic, you make errors and get the shits, and you're thrown off your game, and that's it for you.
Dolphins. The Dolphins are lightning.
Yeah. Nicarima had a cracker of a game. Real good. Katoa always. It's that unfair thing of you don't mention people who are just the best every week. But, yeah.
But he's actually getting better.
Yeah. Mick Ennis probably wins the comment of the round. There's a couple to choose from, but there's a crossfield kick to Bostock's wing and Bostock, we were questioning why they would kick to that wing when Bostock's so tall. And Mick Ennis had the phrase, Bostock, he's no midget, is he?
Well done, Mick Ennis.
It's the rhetoric nature of the question too. That what's what possible answer could be given?
Aren't you supposed to be, creating conversation here, Michael?
Yes, and also 2025. I don't know if we call people midgets anymore. Wires and Broncos.
Yeah, another one we all predicted, right?
Well, we didn't do so well here. Well, let me say this, Dave. We all got one this round from our predictions, except for me. I got two, and the only reason I got two is because I picked the Raiders so that we would have a point of difference. I would have picked Titans otherwise. So, one.
Wow. Warriors at home seems to be a thing. That crazy home crowd cheering them on. That home ground advantage really seems to be a thing for the Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the crowd. You got Sean Johnson in the crowd, playing up to the crowd. It was all just fantastic. And no fish. Like, Mitch Barnett standing up. Cody Capewell did a good job in the centres. I was unkind to him about that, but he did really well there.
Stu's drive play last week on Kirk Capewell.
Well, I don't know. Is it a drive-by if it's just a fact that he's kind of a bit old and slow to be playing in the centres?
No, it's exactly why I would have thought. Load up on the Broncos with fish out and Capewell on the centres. Exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And
anyway, Warriors 20, Broncos 18. That's how it
well
ended
done,
up.
Luke Metcalf.
Yeah.
Schadenfreude for me with my least favourite player, Reece Walsh at the end. Kicking down to lose the game.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty average. Yeah, and he's injured this week, so that's why Broncos are maybe a chance. I shouldn't. That's nasty. I shouldn't say that.
I'll allow it.
Halasima equals scary. That line he ran for that try, bloody Nora, and Tuapiki kicking that ball forward. That was on the ground for the try. Whew. Question. Why did the Broncos have 3 hookers, 4 if you count Ben Hunt, in their side? What madness was that?
Everyone needs an identity, right? We got a team of halfbacks. We got a team of fullbacks. Now we got a team of hookers.
That's good. Done. Yeah. Then you need Moser to come back and they can have 5 in there. Oh, I didn't understand that at all.
I think the coach was faith in Pakes. Pakes was his superstar the first few weeks when they were going well, and now all of a sudden doesn't start and doesn't get very long on the field.
Well, Walters is coming off the bench and playing like a freak.
Yeah, he did well.
So maybe Kevy wasn't wrong all that time.
Or Kevy's throwing a few bucks under the table to Maguire, just give him a run so it doesn't look like nepotism that I did. Roosters Panthers next?
Roosters Panthers.
Dave.
Roosters.
Take the floor.
Panthers, Dave.
I remember messaging you guys a moment in the game early on where it could have gone either way, the call with Edwards taking out Tedesco. I said, turning point of the season. And everything from then on, every minute then thereafter felt more and more Panther-esque. So it felt good. We got some good calls to help us on our way, and it looks like the Panthers are starting to remember what they're capable of. The Roosters did get some dud calls though.
So what is it that made Panthers click in that second half though, do you think?
Oh, mental. It was all confidence and self-belief.
Right.
Well, they did their thing, right?
What you've been talking about. They didn't play panicked.
Yeah, they trucked it up. They held the ball, and then they just let Cleary
be Cleary.
That's right. They gave him a little bit of space to work in.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the first game all year Dylan Edwards has been fit, and he was everywhere. He was great.
Yeah.
That was the difference.
Sin bin, though, for that hit on Teddy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Yeah. What about 27-year-old Cleary being your top Panther point scorer ever?
It's very young to be all-time, isn't it, for a club?
So he could go some way to doubling that by the time of his career.
Yeah, easily. But the rumour is he's taking stock of all of his canned goods to head over to PNG.
Oh, right. Oh.
To live in the bunker.
What? But
What?
hang on.
Go
hang
on,
on.
Ben.
Breaking news.
Oh, it's just stupid media scuttlebutt because
Yeah.
Mary Fowler's parents or grandparents are from PNG. He's definitely going to be the marquee player for the new PNG team.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because when you're on more than $1 million a year, you need more money.
Yeah.
And less tax.
Yeah. To go and live in a bunker. I thought you were going to say that he might be Super League bound to go and help start up that new comp over there.
Actually, I could get behind that.
But then I don't suppose you need canned goods. They've got cans over there, I'm pretty sure.
Spam.
Yeah, lots of spam. Another great quote from the Fox presenters. Kevy this time,
Yeah,
after Alamotti's second try, I think it was. Alamotti, he's a try scorer, isn't he?
Well, yes, he is. I saw a lot of comments over the weekend, different versions of people being really, really supportive of Kevy getting another coaching gig.
Yes.
Ben, you look confused.
No, we just don't want to see him in the Fox.
You got
entry.
it. That's the one.
That's it. And I got to say, hands up to the Panthers social guys for putting out a reel of the old Chicken Tonight ad with the score on it after the game. That's great. It does make me wonder, though, whether they had that idea ready to go in round 2 and didn't quite get it, so that it had to sit in a folder until now.
I think you might be right. Very sad. And then the same with the 5 in a row for everybody else. Panthers went 4 in a row. Now they went 5 in a row. Losses.
Yes.
No.
Titans and Raiders, we all got it wrong. 30-20.
Well, if they'd have stopped the game after 23 minutes or whatever it was, we were all bloody real.
And also, when we did our tips, we didn't know that Dave Fafita and Jaden Campbell were going to be out.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true. But I like this idea, Ben, of yours that the ref should just stop the game when he just kind of feels a certain way at any point in the first half.
Absolutely. I know that there are definitely some betting companies out there that will pay you out if your team is up by a certain amount at half time. Yep. And really, I think the NRL should just look into the mercy rule. If you're up by more than 20, just turn it off. That's it. We're done.
That's Benny Elias areas. You remember a few years ago he recommended that Mantic Round be worth double points?
Oh my God.
Benny
No,
Elias.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Benny Elias.
Great
thinker.
Great thinker would be a great guest.
I think that rule, Ben, would be the players would be all in for that because it would just mean they wouldn't have to worry about getting fit in preseason. You just have to score points really fast, and then that's the end of the game.
Well, so we had 2 games where a team was up, was it 16-0, and got dusted this weekend. Yeah. So they needed to score enough points for them to turn, no mercy rule in play, but we were close. Sharks
and Knights, McDonald Jones Stadium, 34 to Sharks, 14 to Knights. Knights looked bad again.
I think that score flatters the Knights.
It does, really. Schiller scored in the last minute, which kind of makes it a touch prettier. But, Ben, you had Sharks minus 23.5, which the Schiller try ruined, actually, I think.
Ruined it.
Yeah. But
I'm still going to take it.
I'll take it. Yeah, go on. But even though they won by 20 points, I'm still... Why didn't the Sharks play a full game again?
Yeah, I don't know.
Add up all the travel they've done. They've been to Perth, they've been to Vegas, they've been everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a buy.
Is it physical? I kind of get the sense it's mental. I get the sense that they're just going, yeah, we've won. Let's preserve ourselves.
Yeah. I'm also a bit... Every time Nico gets the ball at the end of a set, my heart is in my mouth.
Good and or bad?
No, just bad. Like I feel like if Trindle's got the ball and he's putting a kick in, I'm pretty confident that we're going to, that something good's going to come out of it. It's going to be well placed. We're a chance of getting it, 6 again. Something along those lines will happen. With Nico, anytime he's about to put boot to ball, I am just like, I'm covering my eyes because he could shank it off. He could shank
you've
it
been
off.
stung by those out in the falls, haven't you?
He could hit it straight down the guts of the fullback. And then, I mean, look, what I will say is that he's always first person down there chasing when it's, when he's kicking the ball. But I don't know. I feel like he's playing at about 73% at the moment.
I was about to say that. You look at him attacking, like getting the ball and running versus Trindle.
Mm-hmm.
Trindle looks very dynamic. Hines looks laconic.
Yes.
And I know that that's his style, but it's also does make it seem like he's taking it a bit easier
there
than
was a turn
Trindle,
of speed that he had 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That made him such a, like when he was going at the line, he was a real chance to either break through, someone would miss a tackle, he'd be able to pop his head through, but now it doesn't seem like any of that is, when he's running, he's just sort of mushing into the line.
So that's all since Freddie's misplay in Origin. That's the time you're talking about.
That's pretty much it, right? Like that's...
But also the rise of Trindle, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's probably affected him as well, because I think he probably knows that Trindle's more of a halfback than he is.
Yeah. Sometimes some halves pairings you can have the bet. Like we had Maloney and Cleary coming through, and it didn't work.
Yeah,
it just didn't work. But you're going to persist. The other thing I wanted to mention about the Sharks: what odds pre-season that at the end of round 7, the Dally M leader would be Will Kennedy?
Is he? I didn't know that. Wow,
that is. Mind
and that Ponga would be in like a 3-week run of horrible form.
A lot of experts, including us being experts, were saying that, like, will he keep his spot?
Yeah,
correct.
Will Kennedy.
Yeah,
that's great.
He has been, he's been wonderful. At least these last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
best on ground.
And Dave, you're predicting AOB out of a job this week. Look, the week's not over, but
I'm running out of time.
It feels like it's coming, eh? I mean, he's signed till the end of 2027, though.
Well, maybe it's a financial decision not to cut ties, but if it was a football decision, he'd be gone.
When have Newcastle ever taken financial issues into...
Well, when Matt Gidley joined the board.
Yeah. When making decisions.
Is he a Moses client? That's what I'm looking up right now, Adam O'Brien.
I thought you were going to ask, is he the most overrated first-grade coach ever?
Oh, ever?
Name one.
I did read.
Higher.
Well, I did read something that basically said was the Storm's attack coach when they had
the big four, big five,
the big four.
Yeah.
How much attack coaching would they have really been?
This way.
They were delivered with software installed. They didn't need it.
Yeah, that's and that's not my opinion. I read it, okay, before anyone gets upset at me.
It's my opinion.
Yeah. I can't see whether he's a Moses one. I just got the feeling I read that somewhere, but I'm kind of starting to feel that everyone's represented by Moses now. Clinton Newton's represented by Moses, the head of the RLPA.
Isn't that messy?
Why does he need a manager? Why does the head of the RLPA need a player manager?
If you need someone that's the leader of an organisation to do the management and negotiations for people, why do they need someone to represent them and manage them and negotiate for them?
I don't know.
Good question.
All right, let's finish this up here with the Tigers and Parramatta grudge match. 38-22 it ended up. Did weird game, huh?
Plenty of points. Plenty of sin bins.
Yeah.
Now, I'd like your opinions on this.
Yes.
We obviously all know the build-up during the week. Lockie Galvin, or Moses via Galvin, mouthing off at Benji. Galvin dropped. Luai and Appy had a press conference. Luai talking, obviously about team first and leadership and all that. Did you see that talk kind of transfer over to actions on the field from Luai in that game?
Luai had spells of very great, but it was when they were down to 11 men that Luai sparked in the second half.
Yeah, first half he was kind of hanging out near the wing a lot.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I didn't understand that at all.
You talk about Hines playing at 70-something%. I think Appy's playing at 50.
Yeah.
But Mitchy Moses came back from injury at 100.
Amazing.
217%.
You crunched the numbers on that?
I did.
Yeah.
Best player in the game.
Because he had some of Dylan Brown's percent.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He was really good.
We were probably a bit surprised that Moses came back. I think now, having watched that game and thought about it a bit more, I think he had to come back because he probably wants an Origin jersey next to Cleary, and his biggest competitor is Luai, and he wanted to come back and alpha him.
Yep.
And he did.
And
He sure did.
And look at League's, favourite son, Oyongi. Very, very good. Again,
2 tries.
two tries, just
in all the
the
action.
ball, running the ball back hard. Definitely enjoyed having Moses back in the team. That's for sure.
Well, I got one more. I got to say one more thing about Moses. He forget 40-20s. His was a 30-10. That was the biggest 40-20 I've seen in a very long time. That was amazing.
He's not a hefty dude. Like, he's pretty slight for a footy player, and the way he strikes him is pretty impressive.
And he's got half a foot, as we've said before.
Yeah, but which foot's the broken one? The kicking
He's
foot?
still got to stand on one of them to kick, though.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if he can kick a 30-10, why can't Nico kick a 50-30?
I can't get a good read on you and Nico. You were backing him last week.
Look,
And now
I so want him to succeed, and I know we're back on Sharks talk. Sorry about that. I so want him to succeed, but I just feel stressed out when I'm watching him play.
Yeah.
Because it's not. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
When you watch the Sharks games, just put a Mitch Moses filter over Nico. You'll enjoy it.
Can I get a Cleary filter?
Yeah, sure. It's all kid.
Yeah.
Through the week, when Joe Offahengawi got sent to the Super League and Lane took an indefinite break from football,
yeah.
I thought the Eels were zero chance in this game.
Yeah.
I thought that would have outweighed all the Tigers drama. But Tigers drama, Galvin drama, obviously weighed very heavily.
Well, it did. It did. I expected it to be positive for them, but it wasn't. I think Luai should have done more leadership-wise. Taruva clearly was not in a good headspace. And
was he too pumped?
yeah, and we've got to move on. That is the last thing I'll say about that game. The Fox commentators made a good point when they had the sin bin-a-thon. They said, look at the teams now. They had people sent to the bin on both sides. Look at Parramatta. Parramatta were all in a huddle, talking to each other and firing each other up. Tigers were spread across the field, kind of just ambling around, waiting to be told what's happening next. And there was no chat.
Well, who's the leader?
Luai was off to the side, standing by himself, just kind of looking around. You can't,
Says a lot.
Not good.
Body language.
How does that happen,
The body
though?
language.
Says a lot.
Anyway, we need to take a break. Otherwise, we won't get to our predictions. All right, let's go quick fire predictions for the coming round. Broncos and Bulldogs. As mentioned, Reece Walsh is out. And I think that's probably the only... Oh, Dean Mariner comes in because Cobbo goes to fullback. What do you think, fellas? What do you think?
I think Bulldogs are going to come against the strongest forward pack they've played this year, and that will potentially nullify them. I'm going to take the Broncos 1-6.
1-6, that's not a bad prediction there. I should say, firstly for Monty, it's at Suncorp, and Broncos are $2.58 versus $1.51 from Bulldogs. I'll go Broncos, as mentioned, probably by about 12-ish, I would say.
All right, I'm going to take the Dogs. So I'm going to take the Dogs, and I'm going to take them by 8 points. So I'll take Dogs minus 7.5.
We're getting specific with our predictions now. I did see something. I know I said quick, but I think this is interesting. I did see something today about, do Haas and Carrigan have a right to be filthy with their spine?
Yeah.
In that they are doing an amazing job of go forward and laying a platform, and the spine is not doing anything with that platform that they're creating.
And pre-season with the halves and fullback that they had and all the pace out wide, how are they not scoring all the points?
Yeah. There you go. So, that hit me when I read it. I went, oh, yeah, absolutely right. And Ben Hunt, he seems to have lost it a bit. I don't know what's going on there. Anywho's, Roosters and Dragons on your Anzac Day 4 p.m. game at Allianz.
Anzac special. This game's always good.
Yes, Billy Smith coming back. Nawaka Nitawase going out to the wing, and Dom Young dropped. I don't like Nawaka Nawasi on the wing. I think he's better centre.
I do.
I think he's better, but he's got a great pass on him. He's how many
flick passes?
How many last passes has he thrown this year for tries? I think anyway. Not much happening on the Dragon side. Emery Gula returns. Gula. What do you think, Ben?
I'm struggling to not pick the Dragons here.
I'm with you. I want to pick the Roosters, but I'm going to pick the Dragons too.
Yeah, I'm just going to pick the Dragons straight up.
Straight up Dragons. There's not much difference in the odds. I'm going to go straight up Dragons. Let's all go together, fellas. Yep.
I'll put Gatho for try scorer in there.
Oh, nice.
Okay. 6 o'clock game is Warriors v Knights at Christchurch. Charles Nickel Clockstad's back, as is Rocco Berry.
The drive-by man, Rocco Berry. So with that in mind, being that it is in New Zealand, and being that the Knights are terrible, I'm going to take the Warriors minus 14.5.
That's not a bad shout.
I'll let you go, Stu.
I'm jumping on Ben's train. That sounds good to me.
I'm going to go the opposite. Warriors.
Because Dylan Lucas is back?
Yes, it is exactly that. And that the Warriors in New Zealand outside Auckland don't have a great record.
Oh.
The Knights need to... They're going to want to play for their coach. Lucas
see, this is the thing, Dave. I'm sorry to jump over the top of you here, but if AOB gets sacked, they might get the new coach bump. Yep. Which, that's tough. No, I'm sticking with my pick, Stu. We're sticking with Wars minus 14.5.
How late in the week can you dump a coach though? Surely it would have happened Monday or Tuesday.
They've already flown out. AOB moved the item. I'm serious. AOB has already flown the team out. They flew from Newcastle to Sydney to make sure he couldn't get sacked.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. Going, can't fire me if I'm already there.
Yeah. Give me a reason why they needed to go earlier if it wasn't to avoid being sacked.
Okay, so does AOB fly back without the team if they get dusted in NZ?
I think he just stays there. Again, they're going to need they're going to need a passport to come and fire him. You got to fire him in person. It's like a breakup. You can't do it over text.
Anyway, Knights.
Knights, Dave.
Knights by a bit.
No, I'll just take Knights. I'm not going to get greedy.
Okay,
And I wouldn't
very
be
good.
surprised 13 plus Knights.
Wow. People slagging Ponga off a bit this week, so that might fire him up.
100, exactly. Yep.
So, again, third game of the Friday is at Amy Park, Storm v Rabbits. Storm very short odds, as you might expect. What can I tell you? Oh, yeah, Laddie Mitts back to fullback and Jai Gray on the bench, which I do not agree with in the slightest. Laddie Mitch, they should have put him back in the centres. Why are they doing this? What's the point of having Gray on the bench?
He's not Daly M leader anymore, so they had to drop him.
That's right.
He's a motor man, though. You let him run all these meters the whole game, which is the point of what he's best at.
What will he provide from the bench?
Yeah, I don't know. It's stupid. It's stupid. They could have Campbell Graham on the wing, which he was fine. It was good. And Laddie Mitts in the centres, which is where he belongs because he's a centre. He's actually a centre, everybody. Laddie Mitts, are you listening?
Just get him some early ball. That's
How much spittle do you reckon the Storm players wore from Bellamy this week?
all of it.
Oh. He had a wry smile at the end. That's how mad he was. He'd gone through the angry prism all the way out the other side, and he was it looked like a smirk at the end. I think he was smirking, thinking about how many shreds he's going to tear off people, I think.
Can I just flag that as a possible title, please?
What's that? Angry prism.
Through the angry prism.
You got it. Yeah. I don't know. They were kept scoreless last week with the backline they had. I can't give South any hope against the Storm.
They're going to be so fired up. Storm are going to score at least 30, but the Rabbits going to score any.
No. Oh, well.
Laddie Mitts.
That's the thing. Melbourne are going to they're going to have firecrackers going off.
Yeah.
And South will be fired up. Like Benny will get them fired up, but that may only last 10 minutes after the Storm put 3 on them in the first 12.
You know what? That's the bet you look for. It's something about it being really close or even South's up early, and then Melbourne is still win by plenty.
Destroy. Yeah. I'm going to have Melbourne by 24 with Peter Mamazelis with 14 plus shoulder grazes.
Storm by 20.
All right, I'm going to have a red hot crack here. I'm going to say Storm by 36.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's too outrageous, to be honest. Okay, let's move to Saturday. Cowboys and Titans in Townsville.
Fafita was ruled out for a month last week, and he's been named this week.
Time goes real quick up there, Dave. Real quick.
It's the Gold Coast Sun.
They don't have daylight saving.
That's right.
Sorry, my bad.
It's all about the cows.
That's the theme of the season. People coming out way sooner than they're supposed to, though, right? Johnny Bateman's back, and Nanai's starting.
These two teams, this game could be anything.
Yep.
30-6 either way.
It could be even more. Like, I reckon one of these teams could put 50 on the other.
50-20 either way.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to go over 68.5 total points in the game.
With choosing no side.
Choosing no side. I'm just going to go total points.
Can I copy your bet?
I'm going to go Titans, even though they disappoint me constantly.
I haven't seen the teams. Who are the Titans halves?
Weaver and Brimson.
I'll go the Cowboys, thanks.
Yeah, Weaver didn't do so good.
Sigourney?
When's Foz back?
Exactly.
I'm going to go Titans by 12.
All right. I'm going to
Panthers and Manly at Combank.
Tell you why I'm nervous. There's two parts. Mitch Kenny's out, suspended.
Summerton in for him.
Somerton in. And Trebojevic of the Tom variety is back.
Yes. And Tungo's back in the centres for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, he played his best game in about a year last week.
No,
Off the bench. Rocket
in the date.
I said that at home, and my son said, "Yeah, but he won the grand final." I said, "We won the grand final despite him last year. This year, that game, he actually played really well. I'm really scared, but I'm still going to go the Panthers 1-12."
Yeah, I can't help but feel the Sea Eagles are a bit shot. And Tommy, I don't know, is he back too early? That's the question.
Well, Jake Trebojevic is out. Sipley is out, suspended.
Yep.
How's the Sea Eagles forward pack going to match up?
Yes. Yeah, Tavaga to lock. Simpkins starting. Yeah. Tommy Talau's the 14. That's interesting.
I will also take the Panthers 1-12, Dave. I like that bet.
Yeah. Combank doesn't seem to be too kind to them.
Nope.
I'm going to say 4. Panthers by 4.
Like it. You know what? If that happens, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Raiders and Dolphins in Canberra.
That's the two surprising teams, right? Pre-season, a lot of people had these two teams as picking up the spoon.
Yes.
Especially the last couple of weeks with the Dolphins coming good. These two are both, like, Raiders are sitting third. Yes, Ben, Raiders are sitting third. Who's going to win this one? I think more injuries on the Dolphin side. Raiders at home, settled. I'm going to go the Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many tries will Hudson Young score this week?
Yeah. Is he going to get his Blues jersey back?
Oh, geez, I tell you, that is
back rowers.
So many back rowers. Like, even with Cam Murray out for the rest of his life,
Yeah.
you got Crichton,
Crichton,
Martin,
Hamole, Hudson Young, Liam Martin, Kalamatangi. And there's probably one or two I'm missing.
Yep. Teague Wilton.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go Canberra by 12. I don't think the Dolphins will be able to put two massive games back to back together like that.
Well, 3, because they beat the Panthers into the store. Yeah. I think they're going to come down after that. I'm going to go Raiders by 30.
Oh, jeez. Okay, what time is it on?
2 o'clock.
Okay.
Time-based pick.
Well, yeah, I thought if it was late at night, cold, miserable, Raiders. I'm going to stick with the Raiders, and I will say Raiders by 8.
And at Leichhardt, Tigers v Sharks is your 4 o'clock Sunday game. Lockie Galvin back in at 6, Dewey back in the centres, and no changes. Oh, hang on, no, Toby Rudolph's out for the Sharks, and Tapuha comes in. Royce Hunt's back for the Tigers.
His return match against the Sharks.
Yeah. I feel that Sharks will win 13 plus.
Yeah, you're not being biased there. As a not Sharks fan, Tigers are in all sorts after last week.
Tigers are going well, and now
they've ruined it by trying to be assertive. They've ruined everything.
Can I be honest? I don't think it's the coach or the club. I think it's the players. The players have, like, I'm going to put it straight on Luai and Appy. They need to be standing up and leading this team around on the field. And it's great that they had a great press conference. They came across really well. They said all the right things. It didn't translate to the field. They need to fix it.
The image you painted before, reflecting on last week's game when they were in disarray and there was no huddle, no leadership, that says so much more. I remember slashing back a very long time. Panthers in disarray behind the post, and their captain, Matt Moylan at the time, standing outside the huddle. They were in all sorts. So I just pictured the same thing then when you...
Yeah.
I think they're in trouble.
All right, so what are we predicting then?
Sharks by 20?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, Dave, but it cost me last week, so I'm going to say Sharks by 16. And I'm also going to say there is a chance here, if the Sharks put plenty on them in the first half, that the Tigers get booed off at halftime.
Oh, it's either standing O's or booed at halftime. Yeah, isn't it?
That's passion for you. Do they have a really good or really bad record at Leichhardt?
Tigers? Half, I think. Yeah. I remember North Queensland flogging them there in the last couple of years.
I reckon Nico's going to go man of the match just to stick it to Ben.
I will take that. Just like you'll take the Panthers in to win by 4, Dave, I'll take Nico being a man of the match.
What about Galvin being back? And is everyone on their best form to try and up him? Or?
Yeah. How does that symphony work? Where's the harmony in there?
There's going to be about 18 cutout passes thrown right across his face.
You say that, but I watched a bit of the reserve grade game that Lidcombe Oval that he was playing, and I don't know if I was imagining it, but I was getting that sense that they were deliberately not giving him much ball. No one wants to be the player who's clearly favouring Galvin at the moment, I suppose.
Yeah.
Benji's going, oh, you like passing a Galvin to you? You'll be staying in Razzies for the rest of the year.
The Galvin stats. You passed to Lockie Galvin 7 times last game.
PTGs, passes to Galvin. Anyway.
Actually, for the Tigers, how good is Terrell May going?
Yeah.
I think he has to get picked for the Blues.
Hassan May. Oh, are you all right, Dave? All right, fellas, now. Fellas, thank you. It's been a long nap. There's been a lot to say. We've had to say it. Until next week, have an NRL all the time. Yes. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye now.
Bye. This is an Angry Chimp podcast.